Just a disclaimer, this video was recorded before the OKC massacre of October 27th, 2019. I just happened to look at the score on my NBA app and yeah, it pushed me to the edge on making this video and getting it out as soon as possible. So bear with me here, folks. So the NBA season is underway, and one of the biggest stories in the league has been the Golden State Warriors. After a 3 to 4 year stretch of dominance, the Warriors are definitely not the same. They've lost Sean Livingston, they've lost Andre Iguodala, they don't have Klay Thompson for the year, and most importantly, they do not have Kevin Durant on their team anymore. Long story short, the dynastic run that the Warriors have gone on for the last 3 to 4 years is officially over. We don't need to go through the whole season to see that it is officially over. No longer are they the heavy favorites going into this year or in future years. And at the center of all of this is one Stephen Curry. And after all the changes they've gone through the years, he is still the one common denominator. And if most, if not all, the load being on Steph Curry's shoulders, everyone's eyes are on him. Now, a lot of the first week of the NBA season has been talking about Steph Curry and how good he actually is. I mean, for the last 3 to 4 seasons, he has been unanimously considered a top 5 player in the league, but throughout that whole stretch, he has been on a stacked team. Now that he's not on the best team in the league, this should be the year that truly defines exactly how good Steph Curry is, right? And this is where I have to draw the line. Because a lot of people are using this year as a way to measure Steph Curry's greatness, when that's just definitely not fair. You know, I've seen tweets on Twitter talking about how if Steph Curry doesn't carry the Warriors to the playoffs, then Russ has been better this whole time. No, it doesn't work that way. You can't do that. Since day one, since I did the Steph Curry versus Russell Westbrook video 2 to 3 years ago, this is what I said in that video. So what I'm getting at here is Russ turns his team from the worst to a playoff team, which is still extremely impressive. But Steph Curry turns his team from a playoff team to one of the greatest teams of all time. And I just value the latter more than the former. I have always said that if I wanted a player to carry a team, I've always said that if I wanted a player to take a trash team to the playoffs, I would rather have Russell Westbrook than Steph Curry on my team. I would rather have James Harden than Steph Curry on my team. Talking about the GOAT conversation, honestly, I would rather have LeBron James than Michael Jordan on my team. But when we talk about Steph Curry making his teammates better, when we talk about Steph Curry being the catalyst of one of the greatest dynasties of all time, that is a title that none of those guys, in my opinion, could do. Let's say in 2017, we switch Westbrook and Curry. Now, I don't want to make this a Steph Curry versus Russell Westbrook type video, but just for the purpose of this video, stick with me here. Do I think Steph would have carried the Thunder to as much wins as Westbrook? Personally, I don't think so. If he did, it'd be around the same. But if we look at the Warriors with Westbrook, I don't think they would have been as successful with Westbrook as their point guard. Steph Curry's ability to play off ball and let Kevin Durant be Kevin Durant and let Klay Thompson be Klay Thompson and let Draymond Green be Draymond Green is what his greatness was all about. His play style didn't overlap and conflict the play styles of those other players, and that's what made the Warriors work. You know, while there is something to be said about the greatness of players taking trash teams to the playoffs, and that is no easy feat, there has and always will be something to be said about players who can fit on great teams and make them work. So pretty much all I'm trying to say this video is that if Steph Curry doesn't lead the Warriors to the playoffs, that doesn't erase the 3 to 4 years of basketball we just watched the past 3 to 4 years. We're not just gonna go back in history and say that Steph wasn't a top 5 player in that stretch. We're not gonna say that Steph Curry didn't deserve the unanimous MVP in 2016. We're not gonna act like going into this season we were talking about Steph Curry having a top 10 greatest career in history, and then now all of a sudden when he had the greatest finals of his career and another year of his prime where he performed perfectly fine, that all of a sudden that Westbrook is now better than him, that Kyrie is now better than him, that Anthony Davis is somehow better than him, when going into last year Steph Curry was viewed as better than Anthony Davis, and then last year Anthony Davis got injured and didn't make the playoffs, and now all of a sudden because he's on the Lakers now he's better than Steph Curry. No, we're not doing that. We are not doing that. So will I be disappointed if Steph doesn't average 34 points and, you know, put on a show like 2016? Yeah, a little bit, because I wanted to see that. But I feel like whatever we see this year is not gonna say something about Steph Curry that we haven't known in the past. And if you guys have been a long time subscriber of this channel, you guys already know my stance. If Steph Curry still averaged 32 points and carried them to the 5th seed, I would still take the guy that averaged 27 points and led their team to the 1st seed as the MVP. So if Steph Curry doesn't get the MVP this year, again, that doesn't say anything. It really doesn't. However, for the Warriors as a team, I am definitely concerned for this team. This team has no defense. No defense. Steph Curry is not a great defender. D'Angelo Russell is not a great defender. No, at the 3 position, honestly, I don't even know who they have at the 3 position. I always, try to think of it in my head, but then I always forget. Willie Cauley-Stein is not even playing. Draymond, man, he has to go back to being that 13-point, 9 rebound, 7-8 assist guy he was a couple years ago. Like, if this team wants to succeed, he needs to be that guy. And with all the people the past couple of years telling me that you can start a franchise and have Draymond be your best player, Draymond better prove y'all right, man. He better prove y'all right. I'm not gonna lie, I know it's only 2 games in, but just looking at the personnel of this team and how they actually fit on the court, I feel like I really did overrate this team. A part of me had them being a top 4 seed in the West, but the defensive problems of this team, they're just too glaring to ignore. They're just too glaring to ignore. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm actually need you guys to do that. I'm not just saying that as a formality, because apparently YouTube and the algorithm has not been favoring NBA YouTubers. So I'm gonna need y'all to really support me and my fellow NBA YouTubers out there, because we are grinding for this season. We're trying to get you guys a lot of content. But the YouTube gods are against us apparently, because they're promoting First Take and all that. Pretty much, what Jimmy Fallon and them are doing to the YouTube community. I don't like it. I don't like it. But with that being said, like I said, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, leave a comment, and let me know what you guys think about Steph Curry and all this talk about him. I think it's really full of nonsense. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm out. Peace.